parents, we tirelessly remind our children to be considerate and respectful of others, but it's also important to teach them some proper etiquette to use at school. Joining us now is certified etiquette expert Karen Thomas from ctetiquette.com with more. Karen, wonderful to have you here.
It's nice to be back. Thank you.
We kind of forget, not that we forget, but we're not taught etiquette specifically. We don't go to a class for it. So it's important to remind your kids before school how to respect others and what they need to do throughout the day.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's a good reminder for all of us, even for us parents, you know what I mean, to go over these rules and just little tips to make it just a little bit more pleasant at school.
Yeah, so the first thing you can talk to your kids about is to greet and acknowledge people.
Yes, you know, it's oftentimes you see people, where you go in, maybe, you know, the students, they don't greet or acknowledge the administrators or the staff or other people. Say hello. You know, doesn't it make it nicer when you go somewhere and somebody greets you? Even, you know, you and I go into a store and somebody says hello, good morning, or what have you. And a lot of times I think the kids kind of forget that. They're nervous or what have you. It's nice to go in and just say good morning or hello to the people that you're with.
Well, it's also a good reminder to coworkers too, people as adults.
Yes.
Say hello to each other. That's what respectful people do. Be considerate. Hold the door. I mean, these are things we're reminding our kids to do, but
yes,
we can be reminded too.
Yes. How many times have you been in the line at perhaps maybe a Starbucks or a coffee shop and you see somebody running ahead of you and they grab the door and then it kind of closes on you? It's a little bit rude. So I like to tell my kids when they go back, you know, hold the door for somebody. You know what? It's just nice, and you know what? Somebody might do it in return for you.
Yes, exactly. So it starts the wheel turning so that it continues that kindness cycle.
Yes.
Don't interrupt others.
This is important. You know, a lot of times we do have a thought that we want to get out right away, and especially kids with class, and raising their hand, and you know what I mean? Try to contain it. I try to tell my kids, you know, try to contain it, be respectful of others, let them finish their sentence, and then there's always time for you to comment or, you know, or say what you need to say.
Exactly, and that's something that's very important, especially when you are the one that likes to speak up in class. Make sure that you're not always the one interrupting people to do it.
Yes.
Please, thank you, and you're welcome.
Those are just the golden rules and the keys to respect everywhere and anywhere for adults and for children. And just, you know, sometimes we take it for granted. So always throw in that please. Always throw in that thank you. And I'll bet you'll get a you're welcome back when you do it. And you know what? If you don't, it's okay. But you know what? You be the bigger person and you do it, and you'll just gain respect from everyone.
And one more thing I'd like to ask you about is how to tell or remind your kids about respecting their elders.
This is something that I think, you know, we can all remind ourselves of. You know, when people are in an authority figure such as administrators, the principal, or, you know, your teacher, you want to make sure that the kids are respectful. So you want to just keep it, you know, very, very casual, but just remind the kids that, you know what, respect your elders. This is what we were brought up on. I'm sure you were the same. And it's just something that if you just repeat it, it's nice to hear, and it's a good reminder. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Karen. Even if the kids are back in school, it's not too late to remind them of these simple etiquette tips.
Absolutely.
Great to have you here. And now we're going to continue the back-to-school conversation. I'll toss it over to Seth, who's going to talk about transitioning into college. Seth?